I feel that this deck is not as consistent as Jeskai blue-white. It's very consistently got second place in the challenge. I do think this deck has... This biggest problem with the deck is the mana base, and it's just not very good. But I have found the deck overall to be pretty good. Keep this. Guess I'm putting back the Ewit, although it's obviously great with this Ephemerates. We don't have any fetches to go with it. Don't have double green. Ewit is a card you want to draw pretty late, I think. Is tomorrow a good day for deck tech? Any day and any time is a good time. Why does my sideboard not include anything for zoo or Simic artifact stuff? Yeah, that's another thing is we have played against a couple not super common decks, and even then I also feel like we even got a bit unlucky. Euphorics, thank you for your Twitch Prime. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate you. I got second place on Saturday, and I also got second place the Saturday before that. I'm gonna force this. Puts down to 2 cards. Yeah, I think this deck is really tough to play, and I definitely don't play it perfectly. But I've seen some other people play it, and I've even seen some people dismiss the deck, but I do think it has a really high learning curve. Yeah, figuring out how to fetch is also tricky. Even playing with the deck, the mana isn't really that bad. I mean, when I say really bad, what I mean is it just is worse than like a lot of 3 to 4 color decks you'll see in Modern. Like it is below average is really what I'm meaning to say. And I think I've made it as good as I can, but the mana is just not as good as many other decks like this, because it's choosing to play Ice-Fang and Skyclave and Uro and Cryptic, which is just not free. Thanks, Croc. Congrats on your top 8. Down to 12. Kind of fine with this happening. Would love to rattle off a couple of lands, of course. We could Ice-Fang and Ephemerate Ice-Fang, although we can't block an Ephemerate because we've drawn the Mystic Gate, so I think I'm just going to Uro. If we draw an untapped white source, I'm going to Ephemerate the Uro and feel really good about it. Blue source. We're at 15. They do have 2 prowess creatures and 3 cards, but only 1 land, so I'm not too worried here yet. Now, I'm not playing Noble Hierarch Trellon, although the problem with Hierarch, in my opinion, is you just, like, this deck is pretty resilient to removal already, and Hierarch just all of a sudden, like, gives your opponents really good targets for Bolt and push. So those are really good hits. I don't think it's unreasonable to play it, but I don't think it's correct to play it. Is the Sanctuary worth it? I think it is. I think it is. What the main thing the Sanctuary does is mitigate mana flood, which is a problem when you play cards that say draw a card. When your card draw spells don't have any card selection, flooding out is always a problem. So I've liked the I've liked the one Mystic Sanctuary to kind of mitigate flood, which is what Mystic Sanctuary does. Is it just says you can't flood out as easily, which is a very powerful effect, of course. I've seen some people suggest Utopia Sprawl. I don't think it's unreasonable. I do think Utopia Sprawl is generally underplayed. You'd have to change the mana base some. It's possible we could play a 3rd filter land. Play like 1 Seaside Citadel, maybe. Really hoping to draw a blue card. If we play Utopia Sprawl, we probably play Wall of Blossoms over Omens. Yeah, that's true. They have their hand is 2 lava darts. Ah, how? So these lava darts are not in the graveyard yet, and if we draw a blue card off of these 2 draws, we can force the 1 lava dart they can cast, and I think we survive. It's an exciting game, and a cool stack. We did draw the blue card to force the flashback lava dart. Block here, take 4, down to 4, which is not very high. I guess we're kind of hoping that we draw... Oh no, we don't get to draw a card off of this Ephemerate, of course. Yeah, opponents made a bit of a misstep here. I guess it doesn't really matter, they're doing this anyways. We're actually not drawing a card off of this Ephemerate because the target's gone. Okay, but we have Force plus blue card. They do not have another mountain to sack this dart to. We get to chump block the Stormwing entity, go down to 4. If we draw, we'll see what we draw off the Ice-Fang, I guess. And a fetch land is going to let us escape Uro. Stormwing is still like immune to Skyclave and Fatal Push, which is a good spot to be. Iceman 6 months in a row. Oh my god, it's a lava dart. Hell yeah. Okay, so Ephemerate cannot rebound. Let's see what we draw. If we have any fetch lands... I guess Flooded Strand would have been kind of awkward, but we're not technically dead on board, although we're not drawing very live. And like we're dead to anything, of course. We're dead to a mountain, and we're dead to like any non-creature spell. So their hand has to be like exactly 2 Stormwing entity, and then we have to draw path, and then they have to brick again. Okay. Going to game 2. And there was the green fetch to escape Uro. But this matchup is pretty good. Got the remands and the forces. Let me look at the sideboard guide. I need to update the mana base. So the sideboard guide is up to date, but the mana base is just different. I guess I'll just update it while I'm here. That's all I changed going into the tournament over the weekend, and I do think the mana base is better. And if you guys are interested in this sideboard guide, if you subscribe and link your Twitch and Discord accounts and type !Discord into the chat, you can get the sideboard guide. So against blue-red prowess, -3 remand, -3 force, -1 time warp. Bring in the Teferi, which against decks where you're trading resources pretty aggressively in sideboard games, I think Teferi really does shine. I'm playing 2 Aether Gust. Okay, game 2. Okay, I'm going to use the restroom while we wait. Be right back. Alright, sending this one back. This hand would be awesome, of course, if we had a white source, but, you know, most one-land hands look really good. You just need one thing. It's possible we could get a bit greedy and play the Fountain on turn 1, but I don't think we want to do that. Ideally, we're going to save this path for Stormwing entity. It's a good draw. I've said this a few times, but I really like how Wall of Omens plays with Skyclave Apparition, because you're not very often hitting a 4-drop with Skyclave, although you do sometimes. But if you hit a 1/3 drop and then your Skyclave dies, your Wall of Omens invalidates the token, which is pretty nice to just kind of turn Skyclave, diminish Skyclave's downside. And then Teferi also bounces the Skyclave token, which I've liked. That is a lot of Soulscar mages, Soulscar Magi. I think I will Skyclave 1. Imagine if Legions, imagine a Legions in if this were Pioneer, hell yeah. I look forward to next year when, fingers crossed, GPs come back and I have a Pioneer GP to prepare for. I'm very much looking forward to that being a reality one day. Quintuple 1-drop? Yeah, the prowess deck is good, but it's kind of threat light. I think is it's kind of a, it's kind of a threat light deck, which is a, a problem with the strategy. Yeesh. I mean, we've had a really good draw too, so we're not. It's not like we're even in bad shape. But quintuple 1-drop. I like how next year evolved from in a few weeks next month. Yeah, dude. Maybe one day we'll have competent politicians. Good joke. Has there been any Court of Calling brews in Pioneer? I know I've cast Court of Calling in Pioneer a few times. It's been a while though. Got a block like this. I'm playing one Mystic Sanctuary. I think it's good to have one to mitigate Mana Flood, which is a big problem when you play cards like Wall of Omens, Ice-Fang Coatl. Just cards that just say draw a card with no selection makes you more primed to flooding out and getting a mana screwed sometimes. But if you play a Mystic Sanctuary, you're going to flood out less often. Which is, you know, why Mystic Sanctuary is so good. I guess my opponent's just on all threats. I'm going to attack with the Skyclave, I think. I'm doing well, Eliza. How are you doing today? I kind of want to path this Soulscar Mage. Opponent could also have counter spells in their hand. That's something to think about. Hell yeah, Eliza. They're bouncing onto nice. I'm going to Cryptic this, but I also think it's very likely that this Cryptic is going to get Spell Pierced or Disputed. But then they go down to 1 card. Cool. Eliza, thank you for your Twitch Prime too. Angelica, Eliza. Skylar Sisters. Well, that worked out pretty well. Guess I could hold the path for a Stormwing still. And then maybe if they like Soulscar Mage, Wall of Omens or something, we can path the Mage. What was the best part about watching Queen's Gambit from start to finish? I'm gonna want to spoil anything, but there's one scene that I really liked. Sorry if that was a spoiler. Was it being able to make a bio for it? Maybe it was. Ross Merriam came in, and I don't know why we were talking about bios, and he suggested that I make my bio. I'm best known for watching the Queen's Gambit because we were talking about Twitch bios and Queen's Gambit, and I pulled the trigger on the joke. Okay, so they scry 2 to the top, so we'll say, do you want those 2 cards or do you want to land? And they'll probably just keep the cards. Yeah. Okay, I think we just Ontonice here, and I guess we split it up. This Ice-Fang is not doing a ton because of the Lava Dart. Never mind. I've flipped the script. Bad sequencing to not do this first, but this is just not doing very much because of the Dart anyways. So we might as well give ourselves the chance to draw like an Uro or Teferi to cast. I am best no. Oh, dang it. Now everybody's looking at the bio. Light up the stage into Bolt's Mutagenic Growth. They've been pretty good at when they had, all 5 1-drops. Maybe a bit late now. Oh, I'm supposed to do a headshot for the PT today. Forgot about that. And Esther's going to work early, so I guess we'll have to do it tonight. And I hope I don't forget. I feel like I can just tell them to take any random screenshot from the stream. No way that could backfire. Yeah, the Mystigate looking awkward, but I think you just have to play Mystigate because basic planes and Uro are natural enemies, and then this, transfers basic planes power into being able to cast an Uro, which I view to be a big deal. And it also helps cast Skyclave. Where the shark at? I was thinking about it. I mean, I might just do it for free, Todd. Because I always like kind of criticize esports and and just like the internet community's competitive side for. It always seems like they want to portray everything as so serious, when that's not really the culture. Like the culture is usually very lighthearted and fun. But you always have like these skinny like teenagers that are like wearing like this, super baggy jersey, and they're crossing their arms and they're scowling, and they've never scowled before in their entire life. And then, this is, Penguin of Doom 32, and Penguin of Doom has the highest action per minute of anyone in America, and you got to watch out for Penguin, and that's just like not really the tone of like the rest of it. But that's always feels like how the headshots look, and so maybe I could subvert the genre a bit. Yeah, it feels like they're just trying to copy actual sports, but even like in actual sports, that's not even really how it is. There's just like just like, I don't know. Yeah, I think I would, I'm probably gonna go for a big smile. I may like submit a picture with the shark hat, and I may submit a picture that's normal, and tell them that they can use either one. I guess I'm just gonna main phase this, see if we draw the third Wall of Omens or at Anthonice. This game is pretty over. Blow a kiss to all my fans. Hell yeah. Do the esports pose with the shark hat on and cross my eyes. I don't think I can cross my eyes. But I do like the idea of the serious esports pose with the shark hat. I feel like nobody besides you guys would get it, but that's probably fine, right? Why would I need to appeal to new potential fans when I already have you guys? Please do a flibble flip pose with the shark hat. What does a flibble flip pose look like? Just like, isn't he like this? Like he's scared? I guess we can practice. Hold on. Keep losing the shark hat. Here it is. So what is it like? Is this good? I feel like I need a more intimidating shirt, maybe. I could wear my internet sweatshirt. Let me grab that while we wait. Hold on. Is this hand good? I think this hand's kind of good. All right. Probably need to mulligan. Yeesh. Internet sweater with the blazer. I got it here, actually. How many layers of clothing? I do not have a P.O. box. I don't think I ever really want to get one. I think I'm putting back Basic Forest here. So we need to draw land anyways. I can't even, I've got too many clothes on. I can't cross my arms. Oh, I can't cross my arms. It's because I'm so swole. Alright. I do feel like the blazer works. If I take this sweater off, probably could cross my arms. Arms stiffly by my side. Man. I bet Esther will veto most of this. We'll see what happens. Alright, looks like our opponent mold as well. Opponent went to 6. No, they also went to 5. That's good for us. That's true, Esther. so Esther is the executive branch, and you guys can overrule her with a supermajority. Is that how we want to do this? I'm a little worried about them going Manamorphose into Stormwing Entity, and like the Skyclave is like a good answer for Soulscar Mage, so I'm a little more worried about Stormwing, so maybe we can make Aether Gust Manamorphose and buy a turn. I think the mods are the Judicial Brants. I am the country. So this looks like light up the stage. And I guess I kind of want to Gust light up the stage and then Skyclave the Soulscar Mage. Hopefully. Yeah, I think I'm in for the try to Shark Hat. I feel like the Shark Hat just with like a suit is good. I'm not gonna put on like a full suit right now, but I kind of like that Shark Hat suit. Maybe do the esport pose, but maybe just give him a thumbs up. We'll see. Big fan of just the thumbs up. Pretty fine if they like counter this. I'm officially announcing my candidacy for the leadership of the Typhoon Party. They put the Soulscar on the bottom. We drew the third Uro because we bottomed the second. Do the Darkest Mage point. I actually don't know what is the Darkest Mage point. I know the Darkest Mage. I didn't know that he had like a signature move. Yeah, Skyclave Apparition is amazing. It's about time that White got like a new staple in the format. But this is a cross-format superstar. Did I get the old sub sound back? No, but it looks like I actually had the sub sounds muted, which was not intentional. Have you guys been hearing the other sub sounds? They've turned back on. I've just turned the sounds back on. I had to turn them off because Friday was so or Saturday was so crazy. The points. Well, I can't steal MJ's move. Gotta make my own move. Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon. A chat gifted a sub. Welcome to the Shark Typhoon, Kiki Jiki 1. Or I guess just Kiki Jiki, but with a 1 instead of an I. Sprite Dragon's pretty scary. Wait, did you guys not hear the sound? Is there a shark move? Could maybe like put my hands behind my back like a fin, but that seems a bit convoluted. But maybe just convoluted enough to work. No, I don't think it's gonna work. Maybe? No. There's no way. I think I'm just gonna Uro here. Maybe just one hand as a shark could be good. The possibilities are really endless. Someone's got one card in their hand. Now 2 cards. Now 1 card. Now 2 cards. We got second, Doc. Got second again. 2 weeks in a row. Anamorphose. Oh, yeah, I could just do the Naruto pose. See if we can maybe get some good blur in the shot. Oh, I should do my headshot with Athena, right? That could be good. Maybe Athena could be wearing the shark hat. We're dead to another bolt. Okay, thank goodness. Or a dart. Or a dart. Down to 4. Okay, that can target Aether Gust. So I guess we're going to Sanctuary, Aether Gust, and then Uro into Gust rather than Teferi. And I think we just Gust now, even though it does mean our opponent can hit us for 1. I'm a little bit worried about them having a counterspell and us just losing the game. And next turn we can maybe Teferi bounce a Skyclave and Skyclave the Sprite Dragon, or just bounce the dragon itself. We're not that far from killing them either. During the tournament, keep my camera on Athena. That would be pretty hard because she doesn't like to stay in one place too much. Well, why aren't they? They should have sacked the islet already. They could draw mutagenic growth. I think that was a mistake by them. Okay, so we can Ewit back Gust. We can Teferi bounce Sprite Dragon. We can Teferi bounce a Skyclave Apparition and Skyclave the Dragon. I think when Ewit back Gust. I kind of like that this just means we're pretty likely to attack them for lethal next turn. And do we die to Lava Dart? We do. So we probably should just like take the hit and then Gust in response and like make them have like exactly Lava Dart plus Counterspell as their 2 cards. Right? Take another photo. You're disqualified from the tournament, Spike. We just can't run this. Opponent's Molt to 6. This hand has a, you know, the Wall of Omens Ephemerate Splinter Twin combo, which is pretty good. Ooh. Are we playing the Mirror? Are we playing... Opponent's a fan, and a lot of my decks do play Prairie Stream, so hard to say exactly what's going on over there. Good draw. We took a mulligan on the first league. We played against the blue-white Keenan Simic deck and lost a close match. Then we got run over by Zoo and took a mulligan. Still could be any of the decks I play. If I Ephemerate Wall of Omens, am I okay with them pathing? Kind of. I think no is the answer. Just gonna get Hallowed Fountain here. I think we upkeep Ephemerate or Venser the Prairie Stream. Do you ever feel like it is bad you call it a Splinter Twin and never an X-Art combo? No, because there's like a million cards that combo with Splinter Twin. You know, there's Bounding Crasis, Pestermite, Zealous Conscripts, Hippogriff, something Hippogriff. Opponent wisely concedes without showing me exactly. Okay, so they played a regular island, not a snow-covered island, so it's not the Mirror. So they're probably playing Miracles or Jeskai. So let's try to figure out how we want to sideboard for those matchups. Something like this. Against Miracles, I might like a 3rd Skyclave to deal with Counterbalance. Maybe hedge for that. Breaching Hippocamp. Got yeah. Yeah, Village Bellringer is a sweet one too. Oh yeah, the Tower Scout, the new one, the green one. I don't think I'm single-handedly pushing up the price of Force of Negation. I think Force of Negation just goes in like every blue or almost every blue Legacy and Modern deck, and it's only had one printing that's over a year out in a you know, premium set. Seems fine. I think I'm just gonna go tap Breeding Pool into Ice-Fang and just need to draw one more island to have this enter untapped. Put a Moles to 6 on the play. I'm gonna play around Tail's End. It is Jeskai. Fair enough. We do have a lot of basics, so not the worst wildfire that could have happened. If my opponent plays Teferi, I think I'm just going to cast Ice-Fang in response, and then Skyclave the Teferi after they plus. I guess they could minus too. Just 100 bits for my second timeout. Thank you, Chest. We just don't have too many targets for Skyclave, so like when we have a really good target, and it's also kind of hard for them to play around Skyclave when we have Forest Island here too. I didn't know you could time out mods, or is Chest not a mod? How is Chest not a mod? Well, when Chest comes back, we can ask him if he wants to be a mod. How is Chest not a mod, says the person who has the ability to make Chest a mod. It's really good if we hit a untapped land if we Uro here, and it's just kind of pretty bad if we don't, so I think I'm just going to play this tapped and pass. Okay, Chest, the timeout has been removed. Chest, would you like to be a mod? I'm just going to remand the flashback wildfire here. Why vote Coatl over Apparition? I don't know. Bit weird. Oh, they're targeting bolts, I see. Oh, sorry. They targeted bolts with the Sanctuary, and then they're going to bolt after they draw it. But we're going to remand this, floating a white, so we can draw Ephemerate. What would your responsibilities be as a mod? In the rare occasion that anybody is being, rude, you would time them out or something. Honestly, the community is like so good here that the mods don't really do anything. they do some stuff. Like occasionally we've got some rude person in chat, but very infrequently. If you don't want to be a mod, that's totally fine. So opponent's drawing a lightning bolt, which really isn't doing all that much. Yeah, you can also add commands and stuff. You get the mod view, which also doesn't do very much. Opponent's hand is Lightning Bolt Mystery card. Sorry, that's us. Just for those of you who don't know, that's not my dog barking. It's the terrible dog from downstairs. Oh, hold on. There's some people from my apartment coming by today. I think they're coming back right now. Wait, thank you for your patience, everybody. I'm gonna have an attack here. Just thank you for the bits. I missed. Did you want to be a mod or no, though? The rest of my bits in thanks. I'll just make you a mod, and then I'll unmod you if you want. For those of you who are not here at the very beginning of the stream, Chest always has a really funny like opening bit for the stream. Always brightens up my morning. I think I'm just going to Time Warp here, and if my opponent has a counterspell, I think they would use the counterspell. But it also gives us a chance to draw another green source to have Veil of Summer up to protect Uro, which we did not successfully do. But I think if they had a counterspell, they would have used it, so I'm going to escape Uro, leaving the Time Warp in my graveyard, and see if they have a counterspell. They do. Good discipline. Oh, it was Veil of Summer. I guess that makes more sense. I'll put that on the bottom. We have, an abundance of Uros. Yeah, and most of my YouTube videos, or maybe like half of them, it starts off with me reading Chest's spiel. We could maybe, I guess, actually probably want to trade Skyclave for Snapcaster and then Ice-Fang for the token. That way we can get cards in the graveyard for Uro. The cheer sound effect is still the old sound. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to do that. I think it's gonna be fine. I'll just try to like talk while the sound effect is happening, but I'll change it whenever I think to. I feel bad because I've been there's a lot of sounds on the Discord and I just haven't put them up yet because I've been so focused on PT testing during my free time. That's like all I could like really concentrate on. But there will be new sounds soon. I guess we're going to do a Tails End check. Yeah, the old sound effect is copyrighted. It's from a little kind of like hipster anime called Naruto. Not like super popular show, but one I like. I don't know if the PT testing is going well. I still have like a lot of work to do. Alright, so opponent's hand is just a lightning bolt. And we're in really good shape. The PT is December 4th. Does anybody know when decklists are due, though? I was digging for it yesterday. I couldn't find it. If anybody knows when decklists are due, that would be a big help. Because I don't actually know. Although I'm sure I can find it if I keep digging. It's good. Not block. Feels a bit bad to exile the Time Warp, but not as good as escaping Uro feels. With 2 Cryptic Commands up. Have I cast Tails In on Uro Trigger? I don't think I have. Maybe we had the option to this game and it just wasn't like that high on my radar. Decklists are due November 29th. Okay. So I have 6 days. Yikes. I haven't played any standard yet. Okay. I have a heart attack. I'm going to try not to do any arena streams, but no promises. I think my opponent boarded in too many gusts. I'm not sure. Hey Matt, how you doing today? Like, you already have a lot of answers to Uro. There's also value in keeping like what I'm gonna play at the PT under wraps a bit, because as a guy who likes to brew, if I discover a good brew, it's probably in my best interest if it's under wraps. Okay, playing against the Heliod deck, which I have found to be a fine matchup, although not like a incredible matchup. Yeah, the PT is historic and standard. Do I think Isolate is a viable sideboard card? I think Isolate is worse than Anthonice. And I think for most decks that could play Isolate, I think usually Anthonice is going to be better. Although I once played a Hardened Scales deck, and I had a blue-white opponent played Isolate against me, and it looked real good there. But I just don't think that. I think the thing about Isolate is it's like really good against Swiftspear decks, but so is Anthonice, and Anthonice also hits, Stormwing Entity and Scourge of the Skyclaves and Luris. My opponent has Coco, but we can't really play around it here, I think. I think Isolate is a card you play if you want to feel really smart. I do kind of like Isolate in historic sideboards, though. I've been looking at that. Could we do a poll to see if people are fine with arena streams? Yeah, maybe that would be good. Alright, we were dead to Conclave, or to Spike Feeder, but not dead to these. Although they are pretty good here. Although we do get to maybe just block both next turn. It's a good draw. That actually makes me pretty comfortable playing Ice-Fang next turn, I think. Poll is up. Would you watch me play Arena? Please be honest. I know I'm sure a lot of you would say no, which is fine. Won't hurt my feelings, but I am curious. I really doubt the stream will ever become a primarily Arena stream or anything like that, but if I'm going to be PT testing. They hit Spike Feeder, we die, right? Ooh, now we can Path Heliod. Can the poll have an option only for tournaments and tournament practice? I mean, no. I don't think people really care that much about it, right? Well, I care about that aspect of it. Maybe they do, but it's good feedback. Yeah, I know that more people would watch historic than standard, and people did tune in for the historic stream last Wednesday, but it's also like every MTGO streamer wasn't streaming MTGO because it was down, so that's certainly a factor there too. You have to be more specific. I mean, I feel like it should be more general than specific for a poll like this. I don't know. I think we've got, a general feel. Yeah, I'm not saying if I feel like I need to be spending the stream time PT testing, I will, but I don't necessarily feel that way. I think I'm going to bounce the champion. They don't have double. I guess they do have double white off of the elf. Could bounce the elf. Kind of like that. Now I feel good about bouncing the elf. They named green, not white. No, I really think that the historic stream did so well because it was during MTGO downtime. I really feel like that's why it did so well. And because I think that most people, if Arena was what I was streaming, I think the majority of my audience would just go over to a different modern streamer. Man. All right. Are we dead on board? I think we are. Kill. So I've been playing 3 Onto Ice and 1 Path in this matchup. I think I've been cutting all the walls. Maybe I leave one in. Cut an Ephemerate. Bring in a second Venser, Teferi. This looks like the sideboard plan. Oh, no. I've been playing 1 wall over the 3rd Force. That's right. I found success with this. It's really nice that Teferi means you're not cold to infinite life, although it's a pretty convoluted win. What if I did half and half? I mean, no matter what, I'm still gonna be testing a lot off stream at least. I'll think about it. I think today we'll just do modern, and then I'm gonna make some decisions for tomorrow, probably. How do you feel about this hand? Skyclave Apparition is the best card in the matchup, and we have 2. I think we need to mulligan, but this hand's I think that hand's kind of close. Keep this. Putting back Venser, I think. Can maybe put back Remand. Is Wall of Omens versus Wall of Blossoms a mana-based choice? Yes, mostly because you want white early with both Onto Ice and Skyclave Apparition, and white is also, I think, a slightly better color because of Sword of Feast and Famine. But I really have tried to wrap my brain around the differences between the two, and it's just so close that it's. I don't think I can confidently say which is better. Okay, I probably want to Ontonize that. I think I'm going to get Temple Garden. So I can Ontonize. Got second place in the challenge Saturday. And I didn't play any modern Sunday. I just did I tested 8 hours of Historic on Sunday off stream or something like that. Okay, can't quite Venser that. Hoping that maybe play a second Sprawl. That would be nice. Maybe a bit too much to ask for. We'll see. What a headache. It was really good for us if we drew a land and could go Remand plus Ice-Fang this turn, but we missed. What do I think of Historic? I think it's decent. Yes, Cryptic plus Sanctuary can beat Infinite Life, but the problem is it's like very mana intensive for no card advantage and also a huge pain, but yeah. It's very unlikely to beat Infinite Life. Alright, they're going to Coco in response. Well, don't you never deck yourself if you have Sanctuary plus Cryptic? Have I tried 1 or 2 Jace Teferi to help a symbol Cryptic loop? Or is Ephemerate plus E-Wheat shenanigans enough? I talk about this from time to time, but I do feel like the Cryptic Ephemerate thing is super overrated. Or the Cryptic Mystic Sanctuary thing is pretty overrated. Like, it's kind of like when you're super far behind, it's something that's not hard to assemble because Mystic Sanctuary is so, like, easy to find. And it's only, I think, it's usually only good when you're very far behind. And you hope that your opponent can't overcome it. But it does not tend to, in my opinion, be very good, aside from spots where your opponent is just so far behind where you're at. And because of that, I'm just not that interested in it. Let's got 1 card in their hands. Remand is unlikely to do anything. We could E-Whip back another land here and hit our land drop, which is something I'd really like to have happen, but I think I'm just going to hold up my mana instead. I mean far ahead. No, I mean far behind. I mean, when you're far ahead, it doesn't matter. Like, you go for it sometimes when you're really far ahead, but I do mean behind. I do mean when your opponent just has a ton of creatures in play that you can't answer. I think that's when you start to, like, desperately tap their team every turn. And the lock also just, like, does not permanently beat most things. How can this Heliod combo ever beat Storm? Reduce their life total to 0. Infinite Life... I guess Infinite Life does beat Storm, yeah. I got punished for not tapping my mana to draw this. It's a playset of Ice-Fangs. That was almost certainly their draw for the turn. Oh, whoops. They have a Coco. They're paying costs. We can remand a Coco. I guess I'm going to see if they do anything here. They don't, and we still don't draw a land. Oh my gosh. It's been so many looks without one. It's going to pass. Maybe that was a bluff. If it was a bluff, it was a pretty good bluff. This is like actually like 8 or 9 draws without a land, right? Something crazy like that. Yeah, it could have been Spike Feeder. That is true. This is nice because we just definitely Cryptic it. There's like no other line here. They have infinite power here. And 6 attackers to our 5 blockers. And keep this hand. Yeah, it was tough stuff. I want to go back and Simian Spirit. I want to figure out, see how many lands, how many draws that was without a land. It was an absurd amount. Wow. These rhinos? Oh, this is fine. My opponent spent 3 cards to draw 3 cards. Not a big deal, really. This Teferi is really good because it stops Electro Dominance and Suspend. But maybe a bit slow, we'll see. Suspend a Gargadon. Why does the Heliod combo deck not play Cavern of Souls? Cavern of Souls is pretty tough when you're playing Utopia Sprawl. You know, just any non-forest have a pretty high cost. And they are playing already, you know, Gavity Township as colorless lands. And, you know, they also have Veil of Summer to, you know, which is in some ways, you know, makes you not need Cavern as badly. These decks do play Force sometimes. They have one they'll Force, yeah. Pitching Spell Snare, interesting. They put 2 cards on top of Visions. I bet we'll see maybe land as foretold. We'll see. I guess we'll see. Electro Dominance. Yeah. Rhinos are just kind of fine here, I think. I'd much rather counter bounce than bounce draw because my opponent is going to get to sack the Rhino when we bounce it. So I'm hoping I get to counter something with Cryptic and go counter bounce a Rhino. Notably, Skyclave Apparition cannot get tokens, of course. And if we don't need to, and I guess we're just going to path if we don't need to Cryptic a spell. And if they counter this, I'll remand my own path and then path again. Happy Monday, Stovetop. Do you think of adding maybe 1 Aether Gust and Just Sky is a good idea for today's prelim? Yeah, 4th Aether Gust is maybe good right now. Don't hate it. Getting spoiled by Arena's auto tapper. So you get basic Forest, hold up Remand, and then Prairie Stream will enter untapped. How do I feel about Bant getting done dirty and not having a Triumph? I have mixed feelings about it because I do play a lot of decks that would really want the Bant Triumph, but I also play a lot of decks that I think, man, if we had the Bant Triumph, like maybe something would have to get banned. So I have mixed feelings. All right, that's an answer to the Rhino. Wish we just had 1 more mana, of course. What about unprinting the Triumphs as they were mistakes? I've talked about this a bit, and by a bit I mean constantly with no break ever. But how long will we blame WotC? How long will we blame new cards when really fetch lands are the problem? Feels like forever. They misplayed with their Gargadon, which is nice. Just like so many problems, so many problematic cards are just actually would be totally fine and balanced just totally fine for modern fetch lands didn't exist. Uro, Omnath, Mystic Sanctuary, Triomes. You know, I think the list just goes on, and it definitely does because I talk about this all the time. So it's like, is WotC just supposed to forever design around fetch lands? And maybe they are, maybe they are. I don't think that that's an unreasonable take. It's just Modern would be better if fetch lands didn't exist, and I think so would Magic. But like, just, you know, all we have is our nerd rage, right? We don't really have any power to sway what, you know, becomes banned or anything like that. All we have is our nerd rage, so, you know, maybe direct some of it towards fetch lands instead if you want. Perfect draw. Fetch lands were fine when they existed in a format where non-basics didn't have fetchable subtypes. I mean, that is true to an extent, but, you know, the dual lands have always existed alongside fetch lands. They just haven't been, like, standard legal together, but, you know, the original duels have always coexisted. Am I going to chump block here? It's kind of, I kind of just don't want to force a lightning bolt, because I think that's what they're on here. But I think I'm not going to chump with her. I think we can just like chump with Skyclave if they don't have bolt, and if they do have bolt, we'll force. Nice. Nice. Do we include Prismatic Vista in that discussion? I think Vista is way more balanced than fetch lands are, but it still enables a lot of problematic things. What's up?
What did the inspection guy inspect?
Just like the kitchen and the bathrooms, make sure. All it really is like, you know, making sure we haven't destroyed the apartment.
Because in my, you know, at UTA, the inspections are like, oh, make sure you're super duper clean.
Mm-hmm.
For this one day, this one weekend.
They suspend in Ancestral Visions, and then they'll concede to Teferi, I think. Tell me this, Esther. Would you or would you not go nuts for some donuts today?
Well, donut places are going to be closing soon.
Soon? I was just wondering. I have no horse in this race, of course.
No, I do not want to go nuts for
Okay.
donuts.
I was just wondering if you would. I wasn't asking if...
Okay, because I am trying to be a little healthier. A little.
Athena?
Yeah.
Mom, have you forgotten that Athena exist?
No. I was literally...
We have a contractual obligation that you will take me outside when you wake up, and I will not eat you in the middle of the night. Did you forget about that?
What's up? It's me.
We could Tails. We can maybe play Tails End. It stops the spin spells. Doesn't really do too much else besides that. Gust is okay too. Green Linen 6 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. Put one of each. He's so upset. You gotta take it outside. You can keep this. You hear that? That's how Athena usually talks when she feels like things are not according to our contractual agreement, you know? Oh, I was supposed to trim on Skyclave. Oops. Skyclave still hits as foretold at least. It's not very good. My opponent plays as foretold. Are we supposed to let it resolve and then maybe force the spell? I think we'll do that if they play as foretold next turn, but if they play as foretold this turn, we probably have to force. Okay, yeah. Don't want to force the Electro Dominance, just force the spell they play off of it if it's too good. I think this is worth it. You guys remember when I 5-0 10-0'd with Electro Dominance, and then everyone was like, Spike, is Electro Dominance just like busted in Modern? And I was like, I don't know. I ran super hot and I didn't play against Force of Negation or Chalice once. My opponent's going to be like, they left in Skyclave Apparition, and that's going to be a totally fair critique. Maybe I should have been playing to Mystic Sanctuary back this Force. Three tokens, kind of scary. Probably be okay. Thanks, Beagle. Appreciate that. Maybe we can get... actually... Let me look at the dates. Yeah. I'm probably not going to stream this weekend because Saturday is the... Maybe I'll stream Sunday. But Saturday is the last day I have to do PT testing. So I'm probably going to be cramming. Am I going to record my matches for YouTube? The PT matches? I might just stream the thing. I still need to look at like the policy or whatever. Can't remember if it's changed for this time around. But I streamed it last time. I just can't remember if they changed any rules or not this time.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Free the Thief, 2 months in a row. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate you. I will say that, like, you know, it was nice to be able to stream it because I know you guys care, which is good. But it was also just like for like the, you know, like 12 hours, maybe like 15 hours, however long the tournament was that weekend. When you had to stream it on a delay. The streaming on a delay really does take a lot of the fun of streaming out of it for me. But I will try to stream it. But last time the rules were with a delay, but I need to just look at the rules again. If I didn't hit a land there, I would have lost the Ephemerate. Yes, but because I didn't have anything else to Ephemerate, I think it's good to cycle there. Finale of Promise targeting Izzet Charm. Resolves. They probably should kill this because we have the Ephemerate coming down. 4 mana Faithless Looting. Now finally they've printed a fixed Faithless Looting into Modern. Discarding Izzet Charm and Spell Snare. Oh no. Whatever shall we do? I'm gonna Skyclave the Cage. Well, I guess I'm just gonna take infinite turns. It's a good hit, good draw. I can't remember the last time I've drawn this hot. All right. Can't remember the last time I've drawn this hot. Nice Cage opponent. We will eventually, draw an Ice-Fang to win the game with or something. I guess we Ice-Fang now. We can, keep the loop going next turn, but this puts a clock into play and shows my opponent that they are dead. Yep, game's over. Guess my opponent is randomly holding on to Surgical Extraction. And I don't know why they're not conceding. Maybe they don't understand that this is them being dead, but I don't understand. Like, I don't personally put almost any value on hoping your opponent makes a misclick, but maybe that's what's happening here. It's like we're up a game. Right? We're up a game. Like, the playing to the clock doesn't matter when, as soon as I finish this, I'm going to win the match, and I have 17 minutes left on my clock, So, like, playing to the clock maybe is a thing if they weren't, if the match isn't just over when they're done. It's like, you know, how much do you value your time? Have I targeted my opponent with Time Warp? That is true. I have targeted my opponent with Time Warp before on stream. Whether or not it was on purpose, I won't say. Made some pretty funny misclicks over the over my career as a streamer guy. Now we've doubled our clock. It's also now they concede. Everyone's playing Lurrus of the Dream Den. Against a Lurrus, I'm gonna mulligan this hand, but I may have kept against, you know, in the blind. Oh, that is true. They do have to re-yield every time a new turn happens. Yeah, it's possible that they didn't understand the loop. They thought it's possible they, you know, maybe thought it was finite or something. I guess it technically is finite because I can only take as many turns as I have cards in my deck. Because part of taking a turn is drawing a card. The best part of the turn. Oh, yeah, they can F8. Alright. Their innocence keeps waxing and waning. I mean, they're innocent no matter what. Like, you know, they paid for their clock. You know, they could have a different philosophy on playing it out than I do, which is totally fine. Maybe one day we as a community will hammer out, you know, a code of conduct exactly. But for lots of nuanced issues like Magic Online, I think it's good to be patient and understanding that people just have different views on things like this a lot of the time. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Shadows, pretty good. I'd like to get an Ice-Fang down. I kind of want to Ice-Fang off of basic Forest. That way we can hopefully Death Touch some. It's also, if my opponent doesn't have a way to pay life, they may not want to attack with the Shadow. What is my philosophy on infinite life combos on MTGO? If I'm dead to it, I just concede. And if I am not dead to it, I will message my opponent that I will treat it as if they are at infinite life. I also don't think that anyone is under the obligation to play that way, though. I think if you have the attitude that we're playing Magic Online, not paper, I think that that's a okay take to have. I disagree with you, but I'm not going to say that you're just wrong. Yeah, I think we get a little greedy and get basic Forest here. Immediately punished. And then unpunished. So I think I'm going to main phase Ice-Fang, see if we draw a basic plains or a fetch land for a basic plains to give these Death Touch. Everything is going according to plan. You said something about running hot. I have been running pretty hot today. Kind of. Hot and cold. Nah, can't beat Bomat. I'll play it out, but like, what am I supposed to do against Bomat Courier? Actually, I think I might even block Bomat and Scourge here. And then fetch plains. I do think my opponent has a removal spell, and I like this block because if they killed this Ice-Fang, oh, they're playing around Ephemerate. Yeah, if they killed this Ice-Fang, like, we still get to kill the Bomat, whereas we'd lose the Death Touch if we blocked the Shadow. And I am just going to path the Shadow now, I think. I think I want to pass Shadow over Scourge because Uro shrinks the Scourge if we path the Shadow. It's a cool turn. I just love interesting turns in Magic, and I love it when I get to make like kind of complicated decisions. Not that this decision was like that complicated. But that's all I really like in Magic is cool turns. Don't really care about anything else. Do I block now though? Removal hurts. I mean that's what that block was good against, was removal. Maybe I'm responding late. Also, how are you doing, Soul Strong? GG's. Not even considering Teferi this turn. I think maybe Teferi was better. I was kind of thinking that Teferi was going to be the blue card I pitched to Force if I needed to Force though. That was like before I drew the Ice-Fang. Because I didn't really want to have to pitch the Uro. Like next turn we can maybe just play, like now that we've drawn Ice-Fang we can play Wall plus Ice-Fang. Although Ice-Fang doesn't have Death Touch unless we draw a basic land. Could also maybe escape Uro.
Dina was eating grass, so her stomach might be upset.
It's good, thank you for telling me. I'm gonna bolt that. I'm gonna force this. They can put Lurrus into their hand. They forgot about Lurrus, awesome. Play Wall and Ice-Fang. I guess we play Ice-Fang at instant speed. We can draw a Path or Ephemerate, and so I'll tap this. They do a few different things. I guess mostly just Tiber Battle Rage or 2 removal spells. You feel like playing the Wall there was a big mistake. Yeah, I'm not sure why it is. Like, I didn't have the other Ice-Fang in my hand at the time. Or did I? And I had did I have the other Ice-Fang and I drew the land. I think I drew the land. But then you are forced to trade the second ice for Swift Spear. I don't know if that's a force. Like, wall blocking Swift Spear is good. When you say force, it sounds like that's like not a trade you're like that unhappy to make. Or that happy to make, rather. But this game is pretty over. This is one of our best matchups, and I just have found this matchup to be great. Hard to lose. This deck is very complicated to play. I really don't feel like I play this deck perfectly, but I feel like I play it okay. I think I'd rather save Skyclave for Lurrus. We also can Mystic Sanctuary back Ephemerate, but that would require us to go like Breeding Pool plus Mystic Sanctuary, so it'd be a bit painful if we also wanted to play Ice-Fang. Was scooping to Bomat the joke? Yeah, yes. I thought it was even clearly a joke. I do that all the time where I say I need to concede to this, and then I do this, and then I click cancel. It's one of my mini jokes. I guess all my jokes kind of suck because I always have to explain them. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, that's just my sense of humor, is just kind of deadpan saying something silly, but, you know, with that, you know, serious inflection. I know you can kind of pick up on it if you watch the stream a lot, I think. But that just is my sense of humor, is saying the jokes like the same way I'd say something serious, and like putting it on the person I'm telling the joke to kind of figure it out. And I don't know. I know nobody comes here for the jokes. We only come here for deadpan commentary to have no fun. Just play the game, Spike. Stick to the games. Don't tell a joke, damn it. But like I usually do it whenever someone casts a Matter Reshaper on turn 2. Basically, whenever Matter Reshaper gets cast on turn 2, basically every time I click concede game and then cancel. Basically every time. I think we keep this. Skyclave and Uro are like our best cards, and we're on the draw, so we're likely to find a land, and we have a turn 2 play in Ice-Fang too. I've made you start to stay streets ahead. Sounds like you're streets ahead and your friends are streets behind. Yeah, I can't believe Fran wants us to play 115 lands in this deck. It's crazy. Thanks, Brian. So if we get basic plains, we can't Ice-Fang next turn. Yeah, I think we're just gonna get Temple Guarded. We can still Omthanize next turn onto the island. If I had another land, I'd probably get a plains. Excuse me. That seems like a reasonable amount of lands, yeah. Kind of hard to fit that many lands into our 60 card deck. Wait, they took the Fun Raveler? Really? Yeah, Anthonice's art is really cool. He cursed the wind, he cursed the cold, but by stepping on the ice, he cursed himself. That's pretty good flavor text. Limp, if you want me to take a look at a deck, I have 2 options for you. You can send me $5 or you can redeem 20,000 channel points. Otherwise, I'd be looking at decks all day. Well, I guess we win. My opponent didn't... Does my opponent have Boil? Kind of feels like my opponent has Boil. But they also didn't put Lurrus into their hand. But they also forgot about Lurrus last game too. Yeah, my opponent has Boil in their hand, I think. I mean, I guess not if they put Lurrus into their hand here. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Which wall art do I prefer? I don't know. Maybe the original. They both are fine. I mean, I think maybe our opponent forgot to Lurrus, but like, what is their hand? You know, they have 3 spells in their hand that aren't land or that are obvious. I guess they have hit a land every turn. That's not true. But I think it's good to hold the Sanctuary to like just play around Boil for a turn. I think I want to get basic plains here. You know, one good habit to get into in spots like this is asking yourself, or, you know, saying to yourself, I'm so far ahead in this spot. I'm so far ahead. How do I lose this game? How do I lose this game that seems like I can't lose? And I think the answer to that question is we get boiled, and it also like definitely is a card that could be in our opponent's hand. Absolutely. Although it looks like they have Fatal Push here, which is not doing very much. And, you know, this is a big reason why I like Skyclave plus Wall together. Just Wall makes the illusion token not that relevant. And Boil also gets them back Bomat. Boil back Bomat. Boil gets them back Bomat. If they boil... If they boil, they bring back Bomat. Say that 5 times fast. This command? Abrade my Wall of Omens. Alright, maybe we stop playing around Boil. I guess it's just all spot removal. Always has been. Alright, I'll play the Sanctuary into Boil, but again, I really feel like that's the only way we lose, and so I'm going to hold the Breeding Pool. I'll also block. Nah, I want an ephemerate value. Let's see if they have like a million spot removal spells still. Well, you know, the boring thing about Uro is also the good thing about Uro is when you have the ability to escape an Uro, it's just very rarely is there something better to do with your mana. That's also like my main gripe with this card is it's just so boring. Like you just never have a decision to make. If they push my Uro, I guess I will ephemerate it. That 3 life is good. That 3 life makes it to where they can't play a Scourge. Alright. 4-1 this league. I have been fishing for a full set out of a chest. It's been a long time since I've opened one. Not today.